A very good evening. Nice to have you join us on the news at 5, reaching you from Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Dominic Iwiwa, and these are the stories and reports we're tracking at the moment. We start off in the judiciary as Justice Joyce Abdul-Malik of the Federal High Court in Abuja has refused an application by former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai seeking a review of his bail conditions in the ongoing alleged wiretapping trial. Justice Abdul-Malik held that the existing bail terms remain valid, dismissing the defense's argument that the conditions were too stringent and difficult to satisfy. Justice Abdul-Malik ruled that level 17 civil servants who own property in Maitama or Asokoro, as required by the bail terms, are available and capable of meeting the conditions. The counsel to Mr. El-Rufai, Paul Erokoro, had urged the court to vary the bail conditions, particularly the requirement for sureties who are level 17 civil servants with landed properties in Maitama or Asokoro, alongside verification and attestation letters from the Kaduna State Traditional Council. However, counsel for the Department of State Services, Oluwole Aladedoye, opposed the application, insisting that qualified public officers who meet the requirements exist, and urged the court to dismiss the request. Meanwhile, the State Security Services formally closed its case against Mr. El-Rufai at Tuesday's proceedings after informing the court that it would not call additional witnesses. Following the closure of the prosecution's case, the defense indicated its intention to file a no-case submission, arguing that the DSS had failed to establish sufficient evidence to warrant Mr. El-Rufai entering a defense. The defense requested 2 weeks to file the application, while the prosecution asked for an additional 2 weeks to respond. The matter was subsequently adjourned to 22nd September for the filing of the no-case submission and further proceedings. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has presented certificates of return to successful candidates who were declared winners of Saturday's by-elections in parts of Rivers, Nasarawa, Ondo, Enugu, Kano, and Kebbi states. The elections were conducted to fill vacancies in the Senate, House of Representatives, and the Kebbi State House of Assembly due to resignation or death of lawmakers in the affected senatorial districts and constituencies. National Commissioner May Agbamuche, who represented the INEC chairman, urged the newly elected lawmakers to live up to their expectations.
The National Commissioner, representing South-South Geopolitical Zone, is representing the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission at this ceremony to present certificates of return to winners of Saturday's by-elections held in Nasarawa, Kebbi, Kano, Ondo, Rivers, and Enugu states. In attendance are the newly elected lawmakers, some of their political party leaders, as well as family and friends. The agenda of the day is the presentation of certificates of return, and the representative of the INEC chairman commences the process with an opening remarks.
I want to thank God for we had a very peaceful election, and it was actually free from any form of violence. And for this, we're grateful to the politicians who have had all their supporters in control. That's basically what has happened here. Today, INEC will be issuing your certificates of return, and we pray you represent your people very well. That's what matters most to us. Also, this day, the certificate of return will also be issued in Kebbi for Zuru State constituency and in Ekiti for the governorship election, which was also held on the 20th of June.
One after another, winners of the Saturday by-elections step forward as INEC commissioners representing each of the zones hands over the certificates of return to the successful candidates. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, held by-elections for senatorial offices in Enugu, Nasarawa North, Ondo South, and Rivers South-East senatorial districts.
The election in Nasarawa North was peaceful, was placid, and was very orderly. Our supporters and members of the APC in particular were very orderly, and they did not allow themselves to be overwhelmed by any provocation. And I think that was why it was successful. I think that a good choice has been made, and we are not expecting anything less.
The exercise also holds for Dawakin Kuduwarawa Federal Constituency in Kano State, as well as Zuru State Constituency in Kebbi State.
President Bola Tinubu has transmitted a constitution alteration bill to the Senate, seeking the establishment of state police services as part of efforts to reform Nigeria's security architecture. The proposed legislation, contained in a communication dated June 15, 2026, was read during plenary today by the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio. According to the President, the bill is designed to provide a legal framework for dual policing structure in Nigeria, allowing states to establish and operate their own police services alongside the federal police. Our correspondent Gloria Mezuike reports.
Barely 2 weeks after the Senate passed an executive bill on state police through second reading, lawmakers have reconvened for an emergency plenary during the recess to receive a fresh constitution alteration bill.
We have also distributed...
The Senate President presents the bill seeking to amend relevant provisions of the 1999 Constitution to create a constitutional pathway for the establishment of state police services.
This bill builds on the significant work already done in this regard by the House of Representatives and the Senate, and incorporates additional safeguards to ensure that the creation of a dual policing structure to address our nation's evolving national security challenges will be achieved quickly and effectively to the benefit of all Nigerians. And I'm confident that the Senate will act quickly to consider and pass this bill.
Against this backdrop, the Senate President tries to allay fears by underpinning the significance of community-based policing.
Just read is referred to the Committee on Constitutional Review to present the report back to us tomorrow on Wednesday for further legislative action. And I've always emphasized that even the current governors will one day leave office. They should not be afraid of the state police that they created. And therefore, there will be a lot of safeguards.
We need a minimum of 2/3 of distinguished senators to be able to vote on constitutional alteration. That means it is important for all of us to be here. And I know that members of public who elected us will also be interested in knowing those who actually participated in this constitutional responsibility. The issue of state police is an issue now that cuts across all political parties.
As the push for state police gains momentum, lawmakers are expected to consolidate both proposals currently before the upper chamber on the next legislative day. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Now to some security issues. Troops of Operation Hadin Kai have rescued 47 abductees, mostly women and children, from an ISWAP enclave in Kangarawa, Kukawa local government area of Borno State. According to the acting military information officer of the Theatre Command, Captain Mohammed Musa, the rescue was carried out on June 20 during sustained ground and air offensives against terrorist hideouts in the Lake Chad region. The military says the pressure forced the insurgents to flee, allowing the captives to escape. The rescued victims are receiving medical attention and humanitarian support, while the Theatre Command has reaffirmed its commitment to dismantling the remaining terrorist networks and restoring peace across the northeast. The National President Nigeria Union of Teachers, Mr. Audu Titus, is asking federal and state governments to work towards ensuring the safety of schools in the country. He is insisting that once teachers are not sure of protection of their lives, they will not be guaranteed of going to work. He stated this at the ongoing Nigeria Union of Teachers Arawa Coordinating Committee meeting holding in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital.
Taraba State in northeast Nigeria is hosting the Conference of Executives of the Nigerian Union of Teachers from the 19 northern states, tagged Arewa Coordinating Committee meeting. The meeting seeks to explore grounds of enhancing teachers' welfare, free education policies of Taraba State, as well as addressing infrastructure gaps in schools and safety of schools across Nigeria.
Parents don't pay for WAEC, NECO, and any other exam that students write when they are about to leave secondary schools. So everything about them is free. Our state university, School of Nursing, and others, their school fees have been slashed to 50%. You don't pay complete tuition fee in Taraba State.
Beyond the free education policies of the Taraba State government, the abduction of students in Oyo State, among several others, were brought to the fore as the union raises concern over the safety of schools in the country.
And, we need to work as a team. We need to wake up. We need to cry loud. We need to advocate. We need to be able to make sure that government listens and protect us at our place of work. Once we are not sure of protection of our life, then we will not be guaranteed of going to work.
A minute of silence was held in honor of teachers and learners who lost their lives to insecurity as the meeting continues behind closed-door session. After the session, the national president of the union urged the government to create a special salary structure for teachers.
If today minimum wage is being pegged at 70, for teachers, minimum wage should be pegged at above that level to encourage. There should be special salary structure, and that is what we have been agitating for Nigerian teachers.
The union plans to hold a nationwide prayer session for the quick return of those abducted.
The Minister of Works, Mr. Dave Umahi, has temporarily halted reconstruction work on the Ibadan-Ife-Ilesha Highway during an inspection tour of the Osun axis. The Minister directed the contractor, CBC Global, to pause operations and study pavement mixture specifications at another site. Mr. Umahi is emphasizing strict adherence to quality, ordering the immediate formation of specialized teams to tackle the road's inner and outer shoulders before main carriageway work can resume.
Let me first to commend CBC very, very highly. I can declare them the best Chinese company in Nigeria because even when we have not paid them, they are working. Out of 108 kilometers of this route, they have done about 70 kilometers. However, I'm going to have trouble with them. Number one, I will stop their work now. They should go with the controller to high tech, where we saw go and they check the mixture of papalanto, to Obele, and the work stops. Go and check that mixture and resume your work on Monday. Number two, slow down the carriageway work, and they form two teams to do the outer shoulder and the inner shoulder immediately. Number three, where we have finished the carriageway, the shoulder and the outer shoulder, inner shoulder, and it has passed 28, we have to deploy it. What are we supervising? What are we checking?
Minister was also at the coastal road in Lagos for an on-the-spot assessment of work being done.
You know, I'm also a man of courage, because if you don't have courage, you can't work with President Bola Tinubu. I say I take the responsibility, do it. And they did it, and the ocean came to wipe it away and bring shame to me. So we sat down, and then we repeated exactly what they did at the Eco Atlantic.
You're watching the news at 5 on Channels Television. Right after this break, we'll bring you more stories making the headlines at the moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Lagos State government has warned all roadside traders along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway to vacate the area or face enforcement action. Speaking while serving a 3-day eviction notice on traders and shanties along the Alaba Rago area in Ojo, the Lagos State Director, Ministry of Information and Strategy, with support from the Commander Rapid Response Squad, explained that the continuous activities along the roadside is affecting the image of the state being an international route and Nigeria.
We are here to tell you that Lagos government wants you to live a better life. But the life you are living here on the median of the expressway is not good. They said they should leave that place, find a place, find a place to rent, and be living there and go to market and sell your market. Don't display your fear on the media. Here you people are living, do whatever you like there. Please stop it. And the government has already given you 3 days quick notice. Between now until next 2 days, you should leave all the place.
All what is going on here violates principles of decency and principles of sanity. This is what we call ECOWAS rule. All the way from Idiroko to Agbara to Epe to Ibeduleki to Eric Moore, Bode Thomas, to link Orine, all the way to Badagry, to Seme, is transnational road. They use it majorly for people that are doing cross-border trade and international travelers. So what is expected of you is that no business is expected to be going on the stretch of this road. Number one, you observe.
Members of the Kwara State House of Assembly have endorsed Speaker Yakubu Danladi Salihu for the 2027 governorship election and dismissed reports that the APC did not conduct a primary election to select a candidate. Speaking at a press briefing in Ilorin, Majority Leader Mr. Abdukadir Magaji described the reports as false and misleading, insisting that the party had conducted its primary process. The lawmakers said their endorsement reflects confidence in Mr. Danladi Salihu's leadership and experience. They also reaffirmed support for President Bola Tinubu and Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak ahead of the 2027 elections. Also speaking, the member representing Ilorin East constituency, Rukayat Shitu, said opposition to the Speaker's emergence was driven by personal interest rather than the wishes of party members.
After due consultation and collective deliberation, we also wish to publicly declare our unanimous support for the Right Honorable Engineer Yakubu Danladi Salihu as the All Progressive Congress APC governorship candidate for the 2027 general election. We are confident in his experience, leadership capacity, and vision to consolidate on the achievements recorded by the present administration and to advance the development of our dear states.
Everybody who is willing to contest for any position, he has the full permission to go ahead without anybody forcing the person to step down or not to collect form. This is to tell you, we have about 16 aspirants. This is to tell you that everybody who is willing have their right to contest, to aspire for such position. I want to assure you that the party, the great party, is putting everything together, every mechanism together to solve this issue, which people are already doing, and I'm assuring you that this will definitely be solved. And while we commend His Excellency Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, we also prove we have firm our 100% loyalty and confidence in his leadership.
Now, Anambra State is set to strengthen its response to HIV/AIDS as the wife of the governor, Dr. Noya Soludo, inaugurates the Healthy Living HIV Control Initiative in Awka. This comes amid concerns over the state's HIV prevalence rate of 2.4%, the highest in the southeast and among the highest in Nigeria. The program is spearheaded by the Anambra State AIDS Control Agency, and according to the executive director and project manager, the initiative targets achieving 0 new HIV infections by 2030.
One of the core objectives of this initiative will be to drive the awareness down to the communities and the grassroots on the need that is no substitute. So the next one is to achieve 0 new infection by 2030. That commitment will be signed today officially. Anambra State is committed to achieving 0 new infection by 2030.
On business news, global rating agency Fitch says Nigeria's proposed $5 billion total return swap financing arrangements with the UAE's first Abu Dhabi bank could expose the country to additional debt management and liquidity risk despite its potential benefits. In its new report titled Emerging Market Sovereigns' Use of Total Return Swaps Raises Risk, Balancing Transparency and Recovery Risk Against Financing Flexibility, Fitch says that while total return swaps can provide governments with hard currency liquidity, diversifying funding sources and lower borrowing costs, the structure could create transparency concerns, increase exposure to market shocks, and weaken recovery prospects for conventional creditors if not carefully managed. It also notes that total return swaps have become increasingly popular among some emerging market sovereigns seeking alternative sources of financing outside traditional Eurobond markets. Fitch's report comes weeks after reports emerged that Nigeria had secured approval for the financing arrangement with First Abu Dhabi Bank using a total return swap structure backed by local currency government bonds. Nigeria's broad money supply, also known as M3, increased to 129.21 trillion naira last month, and this is according to the latest data from the Central Bank of Nigeria. The figure, which represents a 3.38% month-on-month increase from the 124.99 trillion naira level recorded in April, reflects continued expansion in liquidity across the economy, despite the CBN's decision to maintain a tight monetary policy stance. The increase in broad money supply was supported by growth in quasi-money, net foreign assets, and net domestic assets during the review period. Further analysis shows that both foreign and domestic asset positions contributed to the expansion in money supply. Broad money comprises currency in circulation outside banks, demand deposits, savings and time deposits, as well as foreign currency deposits. And that's it on the news at 5. For updates, kindly visit our website at www.channelstv.com. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Up next is The World Today.